This is Nintendo's Mario Kart franchise. It's one of the most popular video game series in the world. And just like every other gaming franchise, crazy things happen each year. In fact, 2020 as a whole was pretty insane. COVID-19 rocked the world and infected millions of people. Joe Biden was elected as the 46th US president. World War III was narrowly avoided. And so much more crazy stuff. But let's take a moment to focus on a video game community. What can Mario Kart players do in 1 year? Super Mario Kart isn't exactly the most exciting game for discoveries, since there's only so much you can do in a two-dimensional space. So, the best that I could do for this game was provide some astonishing world records that were beaten after at least 5 years. That's gonna do it for Super Mario Kart. Now we can move on to one of the most exciting games in the Mario Kart franchise, Mario Kart 64. "2020 was an absolutely astonishing year for the Mario Kart 64 time trial community. Crazy shortcuts were discovered and astounding records were beaten, making it one of the greatest years in the game's history. To start off, Abney improved the Choco Mountain shortcut 3-lap record twice, and the shortcut flap record once. He took about 2 seconds off of the 3-lap record, and a 50th of a second off the shortcut flap record. Moving on to some of the crazy shortcut discoveries, Toad's Turnpike had a shortcut discovered after 24 years. Players grinded the track like there was no tomorrow and pushed the 3-lap record from 1:30.69 to about 25 seconds. This cut also took the flap record down to under 1 second, thus making it the fastest flap recorded in Mario Kart 64 history. Now for something no one could have expected to happen this year, a new Sherbet Land shortcut. After this track was broken, it became aware to everyone that there were now only 4 tracks left that don't have broken time trial shortcuts, which is Moo Moo Farm, Koopa Troopa Beach, Bowser's Castle, and Banshee Boardwalk. This was a huge breath of fresh air for anyone that was looking for a new category to play, and is one of the greatest things to happen to Mario Kart as a whole in the year of 2020. A brand new Rainbow Road shortcut was discovered that let you complete an entire race in under a minute. The infamous Calamari Desert fence clip was pulled off, but muscle memory caused the run to end in a pretty heartbreaking way. A new method of doing the Luigi Raceway shortcut was discovered by Weatherton, and it involves hopping up the side of a hill in order to skip a large portion of the track. This is the last new shortcut for Mario Kart 64 time trials, but Frappe Snowland now has a new way of executing the respawn shortcut. Abney untied the longest lasting record in the game's history, which took place on Yoshi Valley in the shortcut 3-lap category. The record sat at 27.76 for just over 10 years. Over that decade-long period, Alex G, VAJ, Greg I, and Abney all held the tied record. What an incredible time. Wario Stadium Shortcut 3-lap and DK Jungle Parkway Shortcut Flap had their first records in 5 years. And finally, Moo Moo Farm had a shortcut discovered that can only be used in Grand Prix mode due to having to launch off of another player. That's all for Mario Kart 64. Now we can move on to one of the most obscure Mario Kart games out there, Mario Kart Super Circuit. Mario Kart Super Circuit is similar to Super Mario Kart in the sense that not a lot of people time trial it, and not a lot of interesting stuff happens. Fortunately, I have a few cool records to showcase. For simplicity's sake, we'll only show the non-shortcut records. The size of Mario Kart Double Dash's time trial community is pretty similar to Mario Kart Super Circuits, so let's go take a look at that side. DK Mountain had its first record in 3 years, and it was a brand new sub. And Baby Park Flap had its first record in 3 years. This is the last small Mario Kart game that I'll show only time trial records for. However, this game had a very special event happen, something that was long overdue. You see, on MarioKartWorldRecords.com, if you go to a certain game and click on Longest Lasting Records, you can see, as you probably guessed, the longest lasting records in that game. Going into 2020, Mario Kart DS held the honor of having the longest currently lasting world record across every Mario Kart game. Shroom Ridge. In August of 2009, MK Dasher would set a notorious record. It wouldn't be beaten in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, or 2019. It was beaten on September 18th, 2020 by Max. How did he break the second longest lasting world record in Mario Kart history? Second only to Ghost Valley 1's flap record. He did this. However, that wasn't the only interesting Mario Kart DS world record. Now it's time for the Mario Kart I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Mario Kart Wii. Mario Kart Wii had a pretty insane year, similar to Mario Kart 64. There were crazy shortcuts, insane records, and large community growth. Let's jump right into it. First of all, Creepy Produce came out of nowhere and is now sitting at over 100,000 subscribers. Speaking of growth, TWD98 reached 300,000 subscribers. Ryazer MC made the YouTube video Mario Kart Wii Coffin Dance. It is the most viewed Mario Kart Wii video to date with over 30 million views. 3 new Ultra shortcuts were discovered on N64 Mario Raceway, Dry Ruins, and GBA Bowser Castle 3. The Waluigi Stadium and N64 Bowser Castle Ultra shortcuts were proven to be humanly possible thanks to new strategy changes. Someone landed the Rainbow Road Ultra shortcut, but unfortunately didn't count the lap. And finally, CTGP Revolution received a lot of updates due to Mr. Bean finding an easier way to program custom tracks. Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U were both pretty uneventful this year, so let's quickly brush over them. The 3DS eShops closed down in a lot of regions, and production was ended entirely for the 3DS console. Soon, we may even see the MK7 servers shut down. A glitch was used in a world record run on DS DK Pass. It took over 3 months to get a record on the advantaged leaderboards in Mario Kart 8. Nintendo announced that they will shut down Super Mario Maker's servers, which hints towards a total online shutdown. That's all for the normal Mario Kart 8. Now, we can move on to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Popular racer Bear UNLV reached maximum VR. Rainbow Road 150cc was finally beaten in under 2 minutes. Big Blue 200cc was pioneered and is now less than 1/5 of a second away from best known splits. Nintendo hosted a lot of NA Opens. The motion glider strategy was fully implemented on a lot of tracks in the game. September was the first month in 2 years to have at least 100 time trial records. And finally, Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe outsold Mario Kart Wii. In Mario Kart Tour, an update was made that raised the max player level from 99 to 150. Nintendo added a lot of incredible tracks, such as Sunset Wilds and Maple Treeway. They also started making a lot of changes to benefit free-to-play users. Carlos85 got the first ever 50,000 point high score without hacks. He later improved it to get it to 55,000. And finally, for our last event of the year, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit was released on October 16th, 2020. "2020 might not have been the best year for a lot of people, but for the Mario Kart community, it was a year to never forget. One can only wonder about 2021. What new shortcuts will be discovered? What incredibly old record will be beaten? What will the Mario Kart community achieve in 1 year?